Power Rangers Ninja Storm is very popular amongst fans, though I feel like it's not talked about that often. I originally asked you guys for your Ninja Storm hot takes until a very interesting point was brought up regarding the missing Thunder Ranger, which we're going to talk about today, along with Cam Sucks blasphemy. Cam might be like the coolest Power Ranger of all time. He starts off as the mentor's son, right? He's a bit of a tech guy, but he's not really a part of the Ninja Academy. The Rangers get recruited. He helps them out. As I said, he's that guy in the chair. He's the tech support. Tells them about the Zords, tells them about the powers. They start making fun of him. All of a sudden, he's like, just so you know, I am also a ninja. I just don't do the ninja stuff. Starts breaking wood panels, concrete slabs, the lot. And then brother goes back in time, gets to meet his mother before she passed away, got to meet a former version of his father, got the samurai amulet, and became the Green Samurai Ranger, who, unlike the other Ninja Storm Rangers, has two forms. He has the regular form, and then he has, I think it's like the Super Samurai mode, where he flips his helmet, whacks that shield off, he's goated. And he is the clip that went quite viral recently of the general public just being like, actually, yeah, Power Rangers kind of fucks. Why don't we fuck with this more? He's the GOAT. Cam Watanabe's sick. And the actor's cool in real life as well. He gets his kids into Power Rangers as well. It's wholesome shit. I think Lothor is a good villain. Not every bad guy needs to be an edgy or a farmer. Sometimes we need something a little goofier. I completely agree. And I low-key think that's why Lord Zed worked so well back in the 90s. At first, he was this really threatening character with, I know he was blue, but like blood pumping through his body, his skinless body with his brain explodes. He looks like the most menacing. Robert Axelrod did a great job with his voice, but even from the start, he was still quite a goofy character. Everybody says that he fell off in season 3, and he did get goofier in season 3, but he was always that perfect blend of looks terrifying, is really menacing, but he's quite goofy, especially when he's laughing. And I think Lothor is a great representation of that. I've seen a lot of people say that Lothor's better than what was in Hurricaneger, which now that I'm looking at it, I mean, it looks kind of menacing, but it's just like a big bug. I really liked Lothor. I liked that the same actor played Lothor and the Sensei, and that they were like brothers. The voice was a little goofier, definitely goofier than Lord Zed's, but I never had much beef with Lothor. I know some people do. I personally really like this take. I think Lothor's a great villain. The Ninja Rangers versus Thunder Rangers Deserted Island fight is one of the best fight scenes in Power Rangers. Honestly, whether it's the best in Power Rangers, I'm not going to claim that. That, I think, was the first set of Ninja Storm episodes I ever watched. I was born in 2003, so I didn't see Ninja Storm as it was airing. My grandparents were massive into just like going to car boot sales and yard sales and stuff, getting old VHS tapes. I had the Thunder Rangers sort of like arc on VHS. Oh, it is goated, isn't it? Oh, I love it. I love it. One of the best helmets and weapons. So the Ninja Storm suits I've always loved. I mean, I've got a little Dustin here for reference. He's not in the best shape, and technically this is like a bike form. He's not meant to have those shoulder pads. But the Ninja Storm helmets have always been such a standout to me, mainly for the fact that their mouthpiece and visors can retract, and instead of taking their helmets off, they can just reveal their faces, which is a great addition. I love the sort of silver arms, and in Tori's case, the silver legs as well. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the Ninja Steel suits as well. I love that sort of ninja aesthetic to it, and the fact we have the primary colors for the main body pieces with the silver arms. Even the suits themselves, like even though it's quite basic with just having a white logo in their center and obviously gold for the Thunder Rangers, which even the Thunder Rangers are sick. Their helmets are goated, and the black lower halves of their bodies I love, but it's one of the most goated suits ever. There's a video I did with Alpha Kings 123, and I don't know if that video is out at the time of releasing this video, but I won't spoil it. All I'll say is there was a ranking involved, Ninja Storm was involved somewhere. Maybe you can see where I'm coming from. Check that video out. As for the weapons, I don't know if I think they're the best weapons. They are sick though. Shane's Hawk Blaster, fire. Tori's like dolphin megaphone thing that also can shoot like water waves, peak. Sonic Fin, that's what it's called. But the Lion Hammer, that just big unit of a weapon that can just stomp into the ground and just send people flying, bro. Y'all don't talk about Dustin enough. Ninja Storm, you don't talk about enough. Y'all don't talk about Dustin enough. Which brings us on to the next one. Dustin is the GOAT Yellow Ranger in my opinion. Again, I wasn't fucking around, bro. Like, Dustin's the guy. This is upside down. There we are. Is he the best, like, Ranger ever? Probably not. I mean, even Cam on his own team kind of defeats him in that regard, I feel. But he's that guy that starts off as, like, the, you know, nerdy comic book guy. They're all like, Power Rangers don't exist. He's like, I think being a Power Ranger would be sick. Then he becomes a Ranger. He embodies it. I love that first episode where they're trying to morph, they can't, and he's just like, follow my lead. I listened earlier, and I love this shit. He morphs. He becomes the first Ninja Storm Ranger. Out of all of them, he was the first. And then even his arc with the dirt bikes and coming to the end of the show and being like, motocross isn't really it, I'd rather be a freestyler, you know, do my own thing. And he has that sort of arc of being like, yeah, I'm gonna just become this freestyler, I'm gonna live for myself after the powers were gone. I love him. I love him. I wish we could have seen Dark Hurricaneger happen. Me too. Dark Hurricaneger, if you don't know, is a black Ninja Storm Ranger, essentially. I don't know too much about the lore of it, but I do know it was the red Hurricaneger that became the Dark Hurricaneger, and Tokyo J did such a sick version of it with like some red trim on it. It would have been great to see this in the show, even if it was for an anniversary film later on, but seeing a rendition of Hurricane Dark would have been cool in this show. Well, in fairness, I said they missed a beat. I don't even think it was in Hurricaneger that it happened. I believe it was in a movie later on, which again, Ninja Storm didn't do. So, I get it. Ninja Steel might have been a good opportunity. The fact they did no ninja crossover in that is bizarre, but weirdly did like 2 Dino-ish crossovers was wild. Ninja Storm being a part of the main timeline makes me scratch my head. The Power Rangers are a comic book when in the next season they're teaming up with Tommy. So if you guys need context on that, Dustin at the start of episode 1 is saying stuff about Power Rangers and Tori and Shane are like, those are comic books. And then of course they become Power Rangers. Then the series later, even though they don't interact with any Power Rangers, any other Power Rangers rather, in that season, they're crossing over with Dino Thunder, which of course includes Tommy, which means Power Rangers did exist before them, and there's no dimension hopping at play. And this is mainly due to the fact, at least to my own understanding, that Disney's first season was Ninja Storm. So in theory, they could have retconned it at that point. It might have been a plan for this to have been the first set of Power Rangers in a new universe initially. Because if you don't know, the original plans were for something called Power Rangers Hexagon, which would have had Jason and Tommy in that series training new Rangers. My best guess is that this was originally meant to be a new timeline. Obviously, by the next season, they changed that. But that is kind of why Dustin says that. I think my headcanon to why he says it in the real world is because he would have been at ninja training for a big portion of his life. So back during like Time Force, Wild Force, even further back, Lightspeed Lost Galaxy, even back to Mighty Morphin, maybe Dustin was in some early form of ninja training and was shielded from the world and didn't know Power Rangers actually existed. Or at least for Tori and Shane, maybe Dustin did. I don't think there is any hot takes for this team. I've just read a few, but I like the idea though. I like the concept that maybe they're just a solid team. Thunder Rangers have too much aura, makes the others look bad. Adam knows. Adam gets it. The Thunder Rangers are so peak. Which brings us on to the reason that I wanted to make this video. This comment here. The fact that there is no yellow Thunder Ranger is actually crazy. An older or younger sister would have been amazing for the boys. More of a problem with the Sentai, but they already made Titanium Ranger, so it could have been done. I completely agree. Having 2 evil Rangers that were forms of red and blue makes it especially weird that there is no yellow adjacent Ranger. And as the commenter just said, technically yes, it was a Super Sentai problem, not a Power Rangers problem, but considering we had the Titanium Ranger, which was exclusive to Power Rangers, and later down the line they went out of their way to make the Spirit Rangers, feels like a wasted opportunity that they didn't make a 3rd yellow Thunder Ranger. And sure, Crimson isn't exactly red and Navy isn't exactly blue, but maybe you could have had a gold or orange Ranger in that replacement part. But lucky for us, Super Sentai eventually agreed with this. In 2013, Toei released Hikonin Sentai Akibaranger, which translates into the unofficial Sentai, despite it very much being made officially by the same people who make Super Sentai. Anyway, in episode 7 of season 2, a bad guy named Su Shogun creates a yellow Gao Ranger, aka a Thunder Ranger, out of resentment for the lack thereof. He was a huge fan of the fact they were evil counterparts to the Hurricanegers, but hated the fact that the Gao Rangers joined the good guys eventually. And not only did he make a model of this, but the powers actually came to be, done by Harizuken, who became Tento Ranger. Despite this suit only showing up for 1 episode, it actually gets quite a lot of screen time and really isn't a bad depiction of what a 3rd Go Ranger would look like. Go Ranger. I think I said Go Ranger last time. It's not one of these guys. Or is it Gower Ranger? Gower Ranger. Go. I personally don't think it has the same aura as Navy and Crimson, but it's quite impressive how well it does fit into that team. I remember seeing a screenshot of this online years ago. I mean, because yeah, this show is 13 years old at this point, which is kind of crazy. And a younger version of myself genuinely did just think that there was a 3rd Thunder Ranger that Power Rangers never adapted. Though I do think this suit has a couple of little downfalls. For starters, the badge and like chest piece across the front. This was part of the evil possession from Su Shogun, and the other Gao Rangers also have it in this episode. I'd love to have seen the gold emblem the suit would have had underneath. I also think the white parts of the lower half should have been black to better match the other two Rangers. And finally, whilst I might be nitpicking, there's something about the helmet that seems bulky in comparison to the others. I don't think the rounded visor is a problem, nor do I think the dark mouthpiece is a problem, but together, maybe the two things together is what's not working for me. Had the mouthpiece been a solid colour like the other two, maybe it all blended a little better, but that's just my opinion. I found this redesign on Twitter by someone called Tranquil Ben, and honestly, it looks a lot better and a lot more like it was always meant to be part of the team. And actually the funniest part about this episode of Akibaranger is that the Gower Rangers actually do switch sides again back to the Hurricanegers, and then they just end up fighting the Tenko Ranger completely solo. She puts up a decent fight, and honestly, like I said earlier, the episode does give the suit enough screen time, but ultimately they're defeated by the Akibarangers. But yeah, there's your third Yellow Thunder Ranger, at least the closest you're ever going to get to a third Yellow Thunder Ranger. Thanks so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below on the concept of a third Yellow Thunder Ranger and what your opinion would be on it. Just want to give a quick thank you and shout out to Toku Nix, who provided the Akibaranger footage for this video. And if you made it this far in the video, comment the words Thunderstorm down below so I know who made it to the end and who didn't. Huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Jane, Eric Leutz and Sam James, our Super Dynamode patrons.